Amir Awad has asthma. He's 9 years old and has been struggling since he was born to breathe properly. Sometimes it gets so bad he has to use this pump. And although his 8 brothers and sisters don't have it quite as bad, the air around their home is thick with dust and fumes, often making breathing difficult for all of them.
My children are always suffering from allergies. They constantly have eye irritations, skin infections and breathing problems. It's from the factories down the road. Once there was a fire in one of them and this huge black smoke came to my house. Amir was so sick I had to take him to the hospital. We call those factories the factories of death.
But the so-called factories of death also give the hope of life. For the past 20 years they've bordered the Palestinian city of Tulkarem with Israel. More than 2,000 people work in them. Most of them are Palestinians, fortunate to have a job when most in their city don't. But residents of Tulkarem are complaining that the factories are pumping poisonous gases into the air. Dr. Saeed Hanoun shows how for 3 days in May this year, thick clouds hung over Tulkarem after an explosion in one of the 8 factories.
We are exposed to a cloud of burned, some materials burned, or without these chemical materials, introducing it will be harmful for the skin and the eyes and also for the respiratory system.
Palestinian farmers complain their land was taken away to build the factories. Vegetable farmer Fayez Odi claims Israeli workers tore the plastic off his hothouses and spread chemicals over his plants to get him to move. But he's refused to budge, despite the threats he says he gets frequently on his life.
In the 80s, when the factory started working, chemicals kept spilling on my fruit farms. Within 3 days, my whole orchard died. For 2 more years, every 2 days, I would water the soil in order to wash off the chemicals. Since then, I haven't been able to plant anything in my fields on the eastern side of the factories. I lost hundreds of thousands of shekels.
The factories produce fiber chemicals, glass, paint, and materials for construction. They run 24 hours a day. We've crossed onto the Israeli side and a heavily secured industrial area. There's no way we can get in, so there's no way we can see what's really going on. We have to wait for the Israeli response to come out.
The Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Health in Israel, together with the local people who run these factories, have checked for the last 9 years all aspects of pollution. And every measure has been taking place that one can take has been done there in order not to make any pollution known to the Israelis or to the Palestinians.
This man's afraid to be recognized. He worked in one of the factories for 10 years before being laid off. His father and brother still work inside.
We were given masks to wear all the time, and at the end of each day we were given a bottle of milk to drink. But it didn't really help, because the air still gets inside your lungs. The insurance company forces them to do a medical test on us each year. They'd bring a doctor, and afterwards they didn't tell us anything. I don't know of any cases where a person did not pass.
But recent medical tests show that people living in Tulkarem have the highest rate of cancer among all Palestinians in the West Bank. While no direct link has so far been drawn to the industrial park, more and more questions are being asked about why the factories are here and at what cost. Paul Islier, RT, Tulkarem.